Can you tell me why the price of food is going way up? My daughter has 5 children, and they're reduced to eating noodles and rice and trying to stretch the budget. And I thought through phase 1 and 2, the prices would be frozen, but they are not. They are still going up.
I don't like the present wage price formula. It's not working. It's loaded against the side of working people, and it's not protecting consumers.
The Secretary of Agriculture said we should eat fish, but fish is $1.79 a pound. That doesn't help very much.
The wage and price control program under Nixon is a very lopsided operation in which they've been fairly effective in holding down the income of working people and freezing the wages, but the price control part of it's been a disastrous failure, and you're reminded of that every time you go to a supermarket.
Most of us feel that our property taxes are awfully high, and we'd really like to know what you have in mind to provide some relief.
The ordinary family can hardly own their own home anymore, or their own business, or their own farm. I talked to a woman at Kenosha, Wisconsin during the primary election last spring. As I recall it, she was paying more than 1/3 of her entire income to support the property tax on the little house that she lived in. She had an income of about $1,700 a year, and the property tax on her house was $570 a year.
If ever we get up enough for a down payment, I don't know if we could pay the property taxes, we'll be ready to retire.
The only way I can see to reduce that load is for the federal government to move in and pick up a heavier share of the services that the states and cities are now carrying. The great injustice in the tax laws are in these loopholes that permit some of the richest people to pay little or no taxes at all, and that's not right. That money is one source of money that you could use to take some of the pressure off the middle-income taxpayer.
I'm a working man, and I work 40 hours a week just like everybody else. And it seems like if I get a Saturday, get a little overtime, let's say I get $70, $75. You know, exactly half of that overtime goes to taxes. I am really working for nothing.
You ever ask yourself where that tax dollar goes? We used to run the United States government back in the days of Franklin Roosevelt on about $10 billion a year. We've spent $150 billion on Vietnam alone. We're spending $80 billion on the Pentagon every year. The President wants another $4 billion added on this year, beyond what we were spending last year on military operations. I think you ought to ask yourself where that tax dollar's going.
My nephew was killed over in Vietnam about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Now I understand we're going to go to Russia now and help develop their country. And the Chinese are worried about you getting in. They don't want you to get in. They want Nixon to stay in power here yet. Why? If we were fighting communism, why should he stay in business?
Now, personally, I think it was a good thing the president went to Peking.
Right.
I think it's a good thing we're trying to improve our relations with Russia. But why do we say that 15 million people in North Vietnam are a greater threat to the United States because they're communists than 800 million people in China or 300 million in Russia? This is the thing that doesn't make sense.
I voted for Nixon in the 60s. I never voted for a Republican before until he come along and says he's going to stop this war, which he didn't. Now, all of a sudden, he's stopping it.
Well, do you know who you're going to vote for this year?
George McGovern!
McGovern, Democrat, for the people. The people are paying for this campaign with their hard-earned dollars. Send what you can to McGovern for President, Washington, D.C.